I'd like to invite John to come forth and give us the Drash for this Parsha this weekend.
Well, this week's portion is TAVO, from Deuteronomy 26 through 29, and it means when you enter. This is a interesting portion because of the last 3 or 4 portions. They seem to be repetitive, and God has repeated these things again and again. So when he repeats things, you know they must be important. So we see that God is preparing Israel, the Bnei Israel, to enter the land. And to do so, one of the first things he says, you need to remember what God has done. What he did, all his miracles and the signs and wonders that he performed there in Egypt to redeem them from the iron furnace and slavery. And then through the 40 years of the traveling through the desert, how he led them and how he fed them and gave them water. And it says, and their clothing didn't wear out. And even the sandals on their feet didn't wear out. I can't imagine wearing sandals for 40 years. And we, too, are supposed to remember what God has done. We should remember, look back on our lives of this past year and think about all the wonderful things and how he has supplied our need and walked with us and led us and directed us. And then to give thanks for all that he's done. Then he talks about the tithe again. And he said the first fruits are his. The best of the crops are his. It all belongs to him. And as we present our tithe, the 10%, we're telling him that it all belongs to him. He has supplied it. He has provided for us. And then he talks about the Word of God, and it's important for us as we think about the Word of God and how we should read it and study it and memorize it, and then, most importantly, be doers of the Word. So when they came into the first thing they did when they came across the Jordan was God said to bring some stones and create a little altar, and there write on those stones write the Torah, and so that they could keep it in front of them and obey it. And then he goes on to talk about the blessings and the curses again, and it seems like in the past 3 or 4 portions that's what he was talking about a lot, because you get blessings when you obey and you get curses when you don't obey. So he said, go to the Mount Gerizim and proclaim all the blessings that God has given to you and will give. And then he says, go on Mount Ebal and proclaim the curses that will come upon you if you worship idols and all kinds of evil things. So Israel is preparing to go into the land, into the promised land. I think it's very interesting that these portions all come in the month of Elul, where people are preparing now for the high holy days. We're looking back at the things that happened over the last year. We're thinking about where we sinned, the things that the people we've hurt, and so on. So in our Messianic community, we celebrate the high holy days as a kind of rehearsal for the second coming of Messiah Yeshua. And of course, we are all looking forward to his coming, and we're preparing for the actual return. No one knows the day or the hour, but we can know the season. And we can tell that we all feel that it's very close. As we look at the world around us today, it's just in so much turmoil and there are problems everywhere. So the question is, Are we prepared? Are we getting ready for that great and glorious day? Shabbat Shalom.
Yeah, leave it on this slide, please. So for all you Hebrew readers here and at home, that's not the right Hebrew. That does not say ki TAVO. It says sheftim, which is from last week, or 2 weeks ago, or last week, the judges, or 2 weeks ago, judges. And so if you watch us tomorrow, though, it'll be corrected.